Maharani or a Tarla or whatever it is. I'm just trying to work with different makers and trying to see, can I play different characters where the world is only very different, you know. So because of the language of a black comedy will be very different from an action thriller, will be very different from a romantic comedy, and these are just because these worlds come with their own rules and their own specifics. So for me, it's exciting to try and like fit into that world and decode that world.
Okay. So if a young filmmaker who's sitting in this crowd and wanted to narrate a story to you, how will that happen? How do you hear stories?
So my number is 99.
Right. You know what will happen now? They know my number very well. They will come to me and I will have to come.
Dan, you have my number.
I have your number.
So somebody just has to steal her phone to get my number.
Whenever I interview Vidya Balan and she goes up, I just ask the same question. Vidya, when are you coming back to Kerala? Another 5 mails or calls I get and said, can you please send this thread to Vidya? So this is what I'm going to happen to you now. Okay, so coming back to your book as well, you know, when you have to...
But I'm just, because you said that, I would love to do a film here. I mean, I feel the kind of films you guys are making is so incredible, like, and so inspiring.
See, tomorrow this will be your title in my multiple news platforms. So then you...
Why do you think I've said it?
If Zeba, it needs to be made a movie, which filmmaker would you ask?
Wow. That's a tough one.
I know everybody would have asked who will act as the role of Zeba and you would say you, right? I want to know which filmmaker would you want to?
I haven't thought that far, to be honest. I think right now I just want to find someone to help me with the screenplay.
Huh.
So maybe we should find a good screenplay writer for it,
Good
who makes the book into a good screenplay.
You didn't want to have hurt anyone, you gave a right answer.
But off late, okay, just because we're here, I saw a film called Minnal Murali. I thought that was really well directed.
Basil Joseph?
Basil Joseph.
Okay.
I thought it was really, really well
Basil,
directed.
are you hearing? He is busy acting nowadays.
I know, I saw a film that he acted in as well, which I thought was incredible, incredible. I'm telling you, I'm a fan.
Yeah, so Basil, I will tell him. And then the latest one of us is Sukshma Darshini.
I've not seen that one.
Yeah. So, if the movie, I don't know why does Zed look like the mask of Zorro? Tell me why is it?
I just think Antonio Banderas is really hot. Or at least I thought that when I was, you know what I mean? Like, and then he did that thing, yeah.
With Salma Hayek, right?
Yes. No, it was Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, correct, sorry. And so, how do you find, what is like in a day of, now you're an author, you're a producer, you're an actor, you're a model. How does a day look like in the life of Hima Qureshi?
Very chaotic. No 2 days look like the same. Last week I just finished shooting for a series for Netflix, which was my last day. This whole week, this is my 3rd city now that I'm traveling, talking about Zeba. And then the week after that, I start prep for season 4 of Maharani. So it's literally like each day is different, and I think it's beautiful. Okay. I feel as I don't like to restrict myself to the same people, the same energy all the time. And I feel like this allows me to constantly keep growing and challenging myself. I'd like to look at myself not just as an actor, not just as a producer, not just as an author. I don't like to think of myself in those binaries. I feel as an artist, I don't want to be put in a box. I want to explore different sides of my personality and keep growing.
Okay. In the world of like fame and filters nowadays, how do you stay grounded, being authentic as an actor, as an individual?
How do I say grounded? I don't know. I can't take credit for it. I think the credit has to go to my parents for raising me with very strict middle class values. And I guess it's your first formative years, I think, that define you as a person. I think even today, if I act like a little bit of a celebrity at home, I'll get one little, what do they call it here? Tapli, we say. What is it called? In
Adi.
Huh?
Adi.
Adi? One Adi I'll get. I'll be like, okay, now get back.
I know. So then, you know, usually you actors always get this word, you look very good. What does it mean to you?
I mean, it's a fact.
But then, you know, so looking good is always been a pressure for people who are in the limelight. And
I mean, let's be honest here. I don't think vanity is a bad thing. You know, as long as it's just not about that. I feel people should take care of themselves. People should look good. It's always nice to look at a pleasant face. But for me, it's not just about like perfection. For me, a person with a beautiful smile,
Right.
or a great personality, or just someone who's a great conversationalist, or someone who has a different worldview, I find that very, very attractive.
Right.
I don't think having a Roman nose or long hair or like a certain physique is attractive. I think for me, personalities are attractive. I get very drawn to that.
Yeah.
And I would like, which is why as a woman, it was always way more important to me that how I conduct myself, the value of my physical presence, that experience, the conversations, they were far more important to me than just like looking great in a black suit with like gold bangles on my wrist.
I would say that.
Also that.
Yeah, nice. Coming back, when you have to say no to a director or a script, how much time it takes and what is your process of saying no?
Are you prepping somebody for that? No, I think I'm just honest and I say it because again, I feel if somebody is offering you a part, it's the ultimate act of giving you a compliment, right? Because they want to work with you, they want to collaborate with you. And maybe you could not do it for various reasons. Dates could be one, maybe you're just in a different headspace, maybe it's something you've already done before and you don't want to repeat yourself. And you just have to be honest and saying, I don't think I'm there yet. Like I had to say no to a very good director recently who I really wanted to work with, and we've been talking for a while. But the film in question was with this star, and I was playing the love interest, and there was a scene, I remember reading the script, where the villain is coming and beating up that guy, and my character is supposed to cry and be like, don't hit him, please chhod do usko. So I read the script and I called the director saying, it's a great script and you should do it, but I think I'm just the wrong cast for it. I'm like, look at me. If the villain comes one punch, so even I want to hit him at least. So I said, you should work on something, but maybe not this particular one.
But sometimes your gut feeling says no, but it proved otherwise. So how do you select that? Is your gut feeling, or it's the reputation of that particular director from the last film or the script? But the gut feeling always works. No, ye ho jayega, ye theek.
Well, if the director's last film is a big hit, it helps. You should probably say yes. No, but jokes aside, I think, I think it's very instinctive. I don't think you can plan these things. I think and for me, it's also like, is it aligning with how I'm thinking right now? Like, say, for example, after Maharani, I got offered a similar part of a Bihari lawyer. So I told them, I was like, no, I don't think, I've just done Maharani, I don't know what else I can add. And they're like, no, this is a lawyer, that was a politician. So I'm like, I know, but maybe I'm not skilled enough to bring that nuance in right now.
So coming your book, right? Who gave you this,